Welcome to the Purpose Driven Mom Show, episode 462. Today, I'm going to give you behind the scenes and some tips on my 3-month reset plan. This is summer goals for me, my family, and my business. Summer is here. The week that this launches is my kids' last week of school. So the school year is just about to be over, and I'm so excited. Things are starting to feel different, right? Now, your kids might be in school already, depending on where you live, or they might not be out yet. So take this and edit it and adjust it for how you need. But now is the perfect time for a personal reset. I just got off a call with one of my team members, and we were just saying how, like, I cannot wait to get to summer, but I feel like I'm never going to get to summer, right? Maybe you feel that way too. There's so much on your plate, which is why we put our focus on our May-Cember challenge, because there's just so much that we are required to do. There's so much we have to do. There's just a lot that us moms hold, and so the summer is just a great time to reset. I'll share some personal stories today on how I am feeling like I'm hitting kind of a bit of an actual burnout just in my personal life right now, what I'm getting off my plate so that I can take a couple breaths, and how I'm also going to still, maintain the status quo around here as mom, as a friend, as a daughter, and my business and all those things. Show notes will be at purposedrivenmom.com/podcast 462. Let's start with your personal reset. I want you to go through these questions as I'm talking today, as I'm sharing with you things, and ask yourself, how can I apply this for me? I want this summer to be a focus for me on rest, on getting my energy back, my own personal growth and development, and connection with myself, because I feel like I've lost that a little bit. I want you to ask yourself, what did this last season or these first 5, 6 months of the year cost you mentally, emotionally, or physically? I am pretty drained. I'm not gonna even pretend that that's not what's happening. We had a lot happening in my family, health-wise. There was a lot of mental load and unpacking. I was able to hit up appointments with my therapist maybe 2 times a month, but it just wasn't enough. So it really kind of was more for me to recenter myself before going in the week. Same with church. I was able to hit it up like 2 times a month, but we just had so much going on. This was our first full season in competitive cheer, on top of Girl Scout cookie season, on top of 8,000 other things I felt like I was doing. There was not a lot of space for me. Now, I did my basics, right? I teach a planning system, 15 minutes a day on your goals, 15 minutes a day on a habit, and 15 minutes a day on learning. I'll say that I hit that pretty much 5 out of 7 days. I felt really good about those things. But what I learned in reflection was that bare minimum of showing up for my goals is not enough to is not enough to fuel me. Now, I always say, like, you deserve more than the 45 minutes, like those 3 15-minute blocks. But there are busy seasons in our life, like this one was for me, where that's all I got most days. And it actually wasn't enough. Like, I know that I need more downtime, more pause time. And it did cost me a lot. I feel like I lost a lot of confidence this first half of the year because I felt more frazzled than I felt. I don't know what it is about. I don't know if it was like the mental load of getting ready to have a high school graduate, plus the small people, the amount of things on my plate. I did volunteer more this first half of the year. I picked up 2 different volunteering positions that I hadn't had in 2024, and I think that that might have just been too much. And I hate to admit that, but sometimes we have to, right? Sometimes we have to admit, like, some of this stuff, even if it's fun, even if it's enjoyable, costs me a little bit. Now, one of the things I'm proud of, and I want you to think about the things you're proud of doing for yourself, is I did keep my exercise up. My emotional eating, I struggle a lot with emotional and binge eating. Not good, right? Not good this year. I definitely fed my feelings with food. But I've lost about 5 pounds since the year started, which feels so small, but I have to remind myself that, like, I had a lot going on and I did the best that I could. I still kept a lot of really good habits. I still drank my water every day. I still got my exercise in. I hit my protein a lot of days, right? And that made me feel good. But on the days where I wasn't fueling myself the way that I needed to fuel myself, I could feel it, right? On the days that I was leaning towards a sugary treat versus let me just take a walk outside, I felt the difference. My body does not feel good. And so I want you to think, what was it like for you? I also can tell when I'm in like a state of stress when I'm not reading for personal growth. The other I know what it is. It just came to me as I'm reflecting. The world feels like it's imploding. I was like, why am I so stressed out this year? And then if you live in the United States, maybe you're feeling it too. I'm exhausted. I am exhausted with the state of things right now in our country. And it is very anxiety producing. There we go. I was wondering, that literally just came to me like as I was talking, like, why am I so much more stressed? Ding, ding, ding. I think we know the answer, right? And so what did I do to contribute to that? I doom scrolled a lot. And I know that that is not healthy, right? My anxiety, again, through the roof, wondering about what next, right? And so I think that because I was on my phone more, because I was so busy, I wasn't doing a lot of the things that are more than just the 15 minutes a day for myself. I wasn't reading for fun. I wasn't outside as much as I wanted to. I would get to the end of the day and like mildly disassociate where I'm just like staring at the wall or like let me veg out and watch a TV episode or something like that. That doesn't make me feel good as a person. I can tell that my energy is low when those are the things that I'm doing. So what do we do with that? We ask ourselves a couple questions. Okay. So I want you to think through a couple questions. What do I need more of this summer? I need more time outside. I need less time on my phone, right? I need more time reading books and more time of just having nothing on the schedule. I know it, right? What do you want to feel at the end of August? Oh, I need, not want, I need to feel refreshed. I need to feel excited, not so much to like get back to the grind, but I need to feel rejuvenated. I don't feel very energized right now when it comes to a lot of things, and I need to reclaim that. And then what do you want to let go of to make space for that? For me, we're letting go of activities. So my kids don't do activities in the summer, besides like a la carte. My daughter might do like a tumbling every once in a while that they have, but maybe it's not every week. We go on more trips, so we don't commit to a sport. We might go to, they'll go to a couple camps for sports, but we don't do like it's baseball right now. So my son does baseball every, 3 times a week. We don't do that. We're not going to do that in the summer. So we need to let go of those activities. And it's so easy for me to be like, oh, I just want to fill the schedule. Like I hate looking at like that schedule. I'm like, oh, but we should do something. No, we should not, Kara. No, we should not do anything. And then I also need to let go of the phone. I know that a lot of my stress right now is phone related, so I need to let go of the phone so that I can make space for what I need. I want you to think of some things you could reset for yourself. Maybe making some negotiable time blocks for yourself. I also know in reflection, and I'm doing this reflection live, by the way, so you and me are just going to hang out and I'm going to really have a lot of ahas, but I realized I haven't been getting up early enough. My body is so exhausted by the time I get to the end of the day because I'm not doing the self-care things that I need because here it is, I'm staying up late doom scrolling and it's making me more anxious about the state of the world every single night. Therefore, I'm just going to be real. I'm not getting a good night's sleep. So I'm getting up 6:30 instead of 5:36. That half hour matters, right? So I need to make that, maybe I'm not going to get up as early in the summer, but I need to make sure I'm giving myself that morning time. I also want to make sure I'm making reading and creative goals. I want to do crafts and I want to be in my garden and I want to go do things that are fun just for fun. Like my son's working on this puzzle. It's pretty tricky for him, right? So it's like taking over our entire kitchen. And I keep looking at it and I keep thinking, oh, I just want to sit down and work on the puzzle. Like, go work on the puzzle, Kara. Just go work on the puzzle, right? But my brain is in triage, and my brain is like, no, I got to do this and I got to do that. I want to work on puzzles, dang it, and play games. And like me, maybe you also want to have some phone boundaries or a little bit of a digital detox. I think it's going to be really good for me. I'm excited for us to go on our trips and go camping and stuff because when we go camping, I'm like not even on my phone. I don't even know where it is. We're going away this week that I'm recording this, actually tonight. We're going to Florida for the week for cheer. I'm recording this early May. No, yes, today's April 30th. I'm recording this early because I'm batching. So if you've listened to episodes that have been going up prior, this is one of my strategies to enjoy my summer a little bit that I'll talk about in a little bit is batching. But when I go away with my family, I go away with my family. I'm not on my phone. Text me later, I'll see you, right? So sometimes having those breaks in your routine where you're not just in the same everyday activities can help you reset as well. So call to action, I want you to write down 2 of your intentions for the summer for your personal reset. take care of yourself. And again, I'm talking to myself here. I need to take better care of myself right now because I feel myself struggling. I really do. Like I said to my husband like this morning, I'm like, I'm not okay. Like I do not feel well mentally. Like I know that I'm not okay. And he's like, it'll be really good for us. We're gonna go away this week. It's gonna be, and yeah, and again, like we're going away for cheer, so there's a lot happening, but it will be nice to just like get away for a little bit. All right, so personal reflection, check. Let's talk about a little family reset. All right, togetherness, bond, right? We still want to have those things, and I want to have some rhythms. I want to have some structure that supports everyone so that I can enjoy my summer too, and mom isn't doing everything. Okay. The little mindset we're going to start with here is that summer doesn't need to be packed to be meaningful. And I talked a lot about this on last week's episode as well. Let it go. It's okay to let go of some things. I want you to ask yourself similar questions as you did for the personal section. What has it felt like for you? Like what has been kind of taken from your family because of the busy season? Our game nights, our time together. Like I feel like it is feeling for me personally, if I'm honest, like a little bit of a chore and not as much enjoyment to like spend time with my kids. And I hate that feeling. I love spending time with my kids. I love playing games with them. I love being with them. But when I'm so exhausted in other parts of my life, that feels like too much for me. So I want you to think about your summer, okay? Ask yourself some questions. What do you want the days to feel like? Okay. I want my days to not just be um no routines at all. Like I'm not I like let's get dressed in the morning and brush our teeth type of things. Now maybe we'll have a pajama day every once in a while, but let's get dressed. Let's make sure we're cleaning up our plates. Like I need basic rhythms in our home for it to flow. It doesn't have to be super structured, right? But because everyone's going to be home more, I know that we need basic rhythms. But I want us to have a lighter schedule. Now, I say that with the caveat is of my kids are doing camps. So my kids will be at camps with breaks in between. I think we end school this week that this is coming out. Then my kids go right into 2 weeks of camp. Then they have 2 weeks off. Then they go into 2 weeks of camp, and then they have, I think, the rest of the summer off. I have to look at the actual schedule. And then they have 3 weeks off. So we kind of go back and forth, but I want us to be lighter. I want there to be more joy. I want the days to feel really fun. Now, we also have a pool. I want to spend time at this pool. I want to read my book. I want to relax with my kids. I need that right now. Like, I desperately need it. So I want you to think about what do you want it to feel like? Um, I also want to have more one-on-one time with my kids. I've shared before, like one of the things I'll do is I take a lap around my block, right? It takes about 15 minutes. That's like my brain reset. And after I come back with one lap, which is like a little under a mile, I might pick up one of my kids and I'm like, hey, do you want to take the second lap with me? Right? My husband's home with the other ones. So we take a lap and then I'll take the third one. So then I'm getting some exercise in and I'm getting one-on-one time with my kids. So think about that. How can I build in connection with my kids without it feeling like another thing? For me, it's those walks, the games, things like that. I also want you to think about resetting routines, resetting some structures that might have gotten kind of sloppy as the year ended, and ask yourself, what rhythms do we need for the summer? Okay. You are not going to be able to enjoy your summer if you're still in micromanaging mode over every routine. If I'm still in the mode where mom does everything, and I'm telling you, I lost it on my son, not my best parenting moment this morning because I asked him to put his homework in his folder. It was on the table still from last night because we didn't do a reset. And he was like, "Well, you always do it for me." And I like lost my mind. And then I was like, "I have been doing it for you. Like I have. I created the problem." So maybe asking yourself what kind of independent goals, independent tasks do you want your kids to do, and make goals around them, right? That's going to help you have more joy and enjoy things as well. And then I also want you to think about a tradition or something you might want to start or continue from last summer to this summer. We went on our first camping trip last year, tent camping. It was amazing. We'd never been camping. If we do not go camping this summer for a couple days, I will be so sad. And I'm not going to even lie, I have nothing planned. I keep saying I want it to happen. I don't want us to do it. But if I don't get it on the calendar, and thankfully this is one of my talking points, I have a list for the car ride. We're driving 14 hours tonight for my husband, is we need to look at the calendar and pick dates to go camping because it just I don't want to miss that tradition, right? I want it to still be there for us. So go ahead, make a list of your family, summer bucket list. Ask your kids what they want, but also go through and say, what are some flows that I know that I need? Okay. I want you to make 2 to 3 very simple goals for your family this season. I know mine are a weekly hike. Mine are also going to be one-on-one time with my kids. And the other one is I actually want to go through and help them with some of their routines to get a little more independent. Like they used to do their own laundry, and then I took it over because it was easier. So my goal is actually to get them back on some of their independent routines, so that the school year they can take on more. All right, it's a business reset. Let's go to section 3, right? We talked about ourselves, we talked about our family. Let's talk about our business, the third part of this episode, which is goals for the business. The summer, I don't know what your business looks like in the summer. I work differently in the summer, but I want to be so intentional. I have work calls every single day but Thursdays, okay? 1 hour most days. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, it's only a 1 hour call. And then on Mondays, I'm in calls for about 3 hours. Okay. That's like the bulk of my work time. But I want to use this time. I'm hoping my brain will open up a little to work on some new projects, right? I want to have sustainable momentum. I want to have creative space and I want to be intentional. And I also want to plan for the back to school year, which is a big time of the year for us here at APDM, and wild to think about it, but holiday planning, right? My approach is that summer is going to have a lighter energy, but it's still going to be focused. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself, what can you maintain or prep rather than maybe working on a new project this summer? Now, you might want to work on a new project. For me, my goal right now in April and May, is to batch content so that during the times that I can work in the summer, I have free brain space from my day-to-day tasks at work, like the podcast, to work on projects. I haven't been able to work on a lot of projects this year because I feel like very in the day-to-day tasks. I haven't been able to like quote unquote get ahead. So for me, I know that because that's what I want to do, I am batching. Again, I mentioned it's April 30th today. This episode comes out, I think, June 9th, right? I'm getting as much done in advance. I won't have it all done. My goal is to do 4 episodes this week. We're leaving tonight for Florida. I don't think I'm going to get another one done. Maybe I will, but at least I'm ahead enough. I also want you to think about having some lighter work weeks to make sure you're also giving yourself a true vacation from your business if you work from home. We normally go to the lake in the summer with my sister. We're not doing that this year. She's having a baby around the time. So that week for me is always like I don't work at all. So now that I know that that week isn't happening, I want to make sure that I'm planning for myself time off. Time off. It's so important when you work from home, when you have your own business, it's hard to give yourself time off. So I need to make sure that I can plan those things. The other thing that I would highly suggest is maybe coming up with either a new lead magnet, a freebie, a passive funnel, something that can help you make money, right? When you're not launching, things like that. Like we have my membership, so I get paid for that, like monthly. And then I have a couple funnels on my email system. I have some freebies I send out that go to what's called a tripwire where I can send another offer. So it does help me make money almost every single day. That's the kind of thing you want to work on. If you don't have that, I would really recommend you working on it in the summer. So here's some questions to ask yourself. What feels heavy in your business right now? Right? For me, it's working on my funnels. I got one done and my plan was to have all of mine done before the summer so that I could have this lighter summer. They're not done. So they feel very heavy to me right now. Once you know that, ask yourself, do I still want to hold that heavy thing for the summer or am I ready to let it go? For me, I'm not ready to let it go. I want to push forward, but maybe it might be time to bless and release it. Where can you automate, delegate, or pause things for the summer? Are there things that you typically do that you're like, I'm ready to take a pause on this? Okay. It's okay to pause things. A lot of podcasters, for example, pause in the summer. They re-air podcasts. We might be doing that at this moment. We're not doing that, but I might do that at some point, right? We re-air our best of episodes. We give ourselves a break as well. So are there places you can automate, that you can delegate, that you can pause? And then ask yourself, what is one thing I want to have done by August? So that can be your number one focus goal for your business. Do you want to start your own podcast? Break it down now so that you're like, this is the one thing when I have work time I'm going to work on. All right. So This summer, you got your family, you got your business. This is a reset for you. It's not reinvention. Our goal is not to like, let's invent 100 things. It's simplicity over pressure. It's putting things back on track that may have gotten off track. I want to encourage you today, take 15 minutes to just start answering some of these questions, writing out your plan, and ask yourself, like, what is something I want to shift? What is something I want to nurture? What is something I want to create? What is something I want to do? What is something I want to take off my plate? Really ask yourself so that you can also have a reset because moms, we deserve it too. Show notes are at apurposedrivenmom.com/podcast 462. I'd love to see what you're resetting. Send me a DM over at a purpose driven mom on all the socials.